Welcome. During this video, we will discuss 3 different assessment factors to include in your business case. These are assumptions, risks, and constraints. Let's start this discussion by understanding more about the assessment factor assumptions. Firstly, what is the definition of the term assumption? It is defined as a thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. Most strategies are predicated on a set of assumptions that will determine whether or not the strategy can succeed, particularly when operating in a highly uncertain environment. It will often be difficult or impossible to prove that the delivery of a new capability will meet a business need, even in cases where it appears reasonable to assume that the new capability will have the desired effect. The assumptions must be identified and clearly understood, so that appropriate decisions can be made if the assumption later proves invalid. Change strategies in uncertain environments can be structured in order to test the assumptions as early as possible to support a redirection or termination of the initiative. It is therefore important that you clearly define, explain, and document the assumptions that the business case is built on. Let's now look at the assessment factor risks. The definition of the term risk in the context of business cases can be as follows. A risk is an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has an effect on at least one objective. As part of your role as the business analyst contributing to the development of the business case, you should identify the risks that are associated with the solution options you are proposing. These risks could be associated with the implementation of the solution, resourcing, time to delivery, and the risk that some of your identified benefits may not be realized. Once you have identified the key risks associated with your proposed solution, it is also important to define mitigation strategies that could be implemented if any of the risks eventuated. Let's now look at the last assessment factor, constraints. The definition of the term constraints is: a business constraint is anything that interferes with the profitability of a company or business endeavor. Improving profitability requires the removal or reduction of business constraints. Common business constraints include time, financial concerns, management, and regulations. Examples of constraints that should be considered include time constraints that may be associated with any of the solution options in your business case. Financial constraints can be any budgetary constraints that must be included. An example may be a limited budget which will prevent the organization from pursuing a particular solution option. Company policies, regulations, and management and staffing are more examples of areas where constraints may exist that impact your business case solution options. You should make sure to document the associated constraints clearly as part of each solution option that is included in the business case. In summary, during this lesson, you have learned about the most important aspects to consider when you define the assessment factors, assumptions, risks, and constraints for your solution options in your business case. I look forward to sharing the next topic with you during the next video.